think that was the original title, Pooper on the
Pooper on the
Roof,
Roof,
and it
yeah.
didn't test well.
Yeah, he said if I didn't have diarrhea was his big song.
If I didn't, how does it go?
Yabba dabba dabba dabba.
No, that's not the word.
Yeah,
You're being
yeah.
modest.
All day long, and that's, that kind of stuff.
And then they
No,
tested
I just
it.
lost 4 of your listeners by doing that sound.
It's not true. They're not going anywhere.
Please talk about Drowsy Chaperone. First
Okay.
musical. How could you be so old and not have seen a musical
Because
before?
I'm like a jock from New Jersey, like, hey, I ain't going to no theater. Da, 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 da.
Right.
And my wife, that's how we talk. Da, 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 da. That's New Jersey.
Yabba dabba dabba dabba.
Exactly. See, I
Right.
read for that. I read
It's
for
all Augie Doggy. I read
Augie-
for the lead in Augie Doggy, the
very.
musical.
I read for the Sun.
Who's he?
Okay, Pop.
Yeah. Well,
That's my boy.
Sylvester was I love you, Dan. I love you too, son.
Now that's my boy.
Mel Blanc, by the way. That's different.
One of the
than
greatest
Augie
actors
Doggy.
that ever lived.
Amazing voiceover genius. Amazing.
My wife
But,
takes me to see The Drowsy Chaperone.
Right.
One of the most interesting things you could ever watch.
It's a beautiful, perfect musical.
It's fascinating, and for like
you see
your
Bob Martin, the guy that wrote it?
yeah,
He's
for
a friend of
it
mine.
to be your
Brilliant.
gateway into all musicals, it kind of ruins the musical because musicals look pretty foolish after that. Because as my first musical, you go in, there's a guy in a cardigan, he's got a juice box, he's this sweet little nerdy guy. He talks to the audience. I know
And I
you
got
know
to
this.
play that part, which is
Right.
cool as
It's
shit.
the best, coolest
Best part ever.
And he tells the audience something to the effect of, there was this musical when I was a kid called The Drowsy Chaperone. I would like to play it for you. He puts it on the record player.
On an LP.
And as it begins to play, the play happens on stage in his home.
People come out of the walls, the Murphy bed comes down, the actors are the stars from a 1928 fictional musical are there.
The Drowsy Chaperone.
It's beautiful, and it's sad, and he's an agoraphobic, and you're not sure about his sexual ambiguity.
Yeah.
And then he takes a giant dump on the stage,
Stop.
and Captain Pike comes out and slides into the orchestra pit.
The only way you can save that is with Captain Pike, and you knew it. You're fucking smarter than people think.
Question.
Yes,
That's
sir.
really nice, because I'm surfacey and have no depth. But what I was going to say was, you saw Matt and Trey's Book of Mormon. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
That is,
They
go
say it's the
get
best
on
thing
a
in the world.
plane and go and take your wife, because it is. You like Drowsy. I'm just saying, this Book of Mormon is one of the best things I've ever seen. They take everything that you hold sacred, which is nothing sacred. Let's not hurt anybody, but let's just pull the sheet off of everything.
Right.
And they don't even do any polygamy jokes, and it's a Mormon musical, and it is unbelievably great across the board in every way. Matt and Trey it's one of the best things I ever saw.
I don't think anyone listening to this thought we were going to be talking musical theater when they
Yeah, but
saw
but-
Bob
but-
Saget, Jay Mohr, and Mohr
Book
Stories.
of Mormon's got rape in it, and terrible, terrible, horrible.
I'm
heinous,
in. Wait,
heinous
what?
acts. Rape.
Oh, I thought you said something. I thought you said rage.
Rape this website.
Rage, like
Oh,
Pike,
rage.
like they couldn't read my mind.
I was in West Hollywood right before here doing a thing with my friends, so I went past Rage.
Rage is
How many times have you been in there?
once with Todd Glass.
That true?
Yes, it is.
So that's about 15 years before he
Came out of the closet like a Murphy bed in The Drowsy Chaperone.
And he is damn funny.
He is funny.
Yeah. How many
We-
times did you blow him? Whoops. What? Sorry. Rage.
Just the one good time. He was
I
my
had
mailman.
Rage. That is so cool. Did you lick stamps? Was it first class?
It tasted like stamps and pennies.
When you
That
absolutely
was the combo.
positively
Have you
sex
ever
with a man
have you
overnight?
ever blown a guy?
That is an easy answer.
Have you ever
I'm
touched
thinking.
wings as a child?
Never done
That
a
seems-
gay act.
Really?
Not my act. No, I have never. Why am I answering?
Because I asked you.
The right answer is I won't dignify that. That means you've done it.
Have you no decency?
I have never cupped a man's testicles that I remember.
What about when you were on Bosom Buddies?
I was the warm-up guy for Bosom Buddies. I
You
did
did
the
audience
warm-up.
warm-up?
I did the audience warm-up, and they put it on me They put me on it one time for a producer named Chris Thompson, who
Went
produced
on to
Action,
do
Your
a little
Great Show.
called Action.
That was a
yeah.
great show.
When you were doing,
And I
Bo-
was a
go-
guest star on Bosom Buddies once. I played Tom Hanks, named me Bob the Comic, and I sang New York, New
Oh,
York.
that's Bob the comic.
Hey,
He's
it's
coming by. And
exactly.
everything will be great and fine, and we'll dress like women, and it'll be great.
You do almost a Tom
That's
Hanks,
Catherine
Hepburn.
Hepburn. Yeah, I realized it as I was doing it that
the
it's
strawberries
I
with
realized-
Forrest Gump.
As I realized I
That's
was
my
doing
boat.
it, I realized it sucked as it was happening, and you caught it. You
You
fucking-
can butterfly 'em, you can saute 'em. That's Bubba Gubba Shrimp.
You're doing the black guy from Forrest Gump doing
No,
Tom Hanks as Catherine.
I'm
Yes,
doing Catherine Hepburn
Shrimp.
trying to do lines from Forrest Gump.
Oh, just the movie in general.
I don't throw out a racial epitaph. Epitaph? Do you have any
I
alcohol?
asked you
Do you
about
drink at all?
Bosom Buddies. No,
Asked.
haven't drank in a while.
You haven't had no booze.
None.
You haven't had no booze?
About a decade. I ain't got no booze in
What
me.
do you like other stuff? Do you like
Nah.
smokage? Cigars? Did you ever do that?
Coffee.
You smoke coffee?
I said that like it was like fucking.
You did a Chris. You did a Chris Walken.
That was so
coffee.
quick. I actually fucking missed it. It hit the catcher's mitt, and I looked back and
It was
realized
the best thing I did on this whole thing. The rest was a wash. I've been fighting for
The whole
struggling. I've been
podcast.
dog paddling in your butthole, and just thinking about you on the roof, just dropping little elves out of your butt.
the whole podcast.
Have you ever shit a gingerbread cookie whole?
The
Just
whole
had it come out
podcast is going to
whole?
be welcome Bob Saget, and you're just going to say you smoke coffee. Thanks for joining us.
Fine. I'll thank you. I'll buy you.
When
something.
you hold on, when
like
you were
some
doing
fucking furniture for the
Shush.
garage.
when you were doing it's why
Can
would I
you
want
back-
furniture in a
Can I
garage?
back my car in here and turn the gas on?
Yes, yes.
It's a hybrid. It's going to take a while.
When you were doing, I would drive a hybrid if they didn't have to put fucking hybrid all over the doors. So I got to be like, look
Mine
at me.
doesn't say hybrid on it.
I will bet you $1.
No, it says hi. It's Bob. I have my name on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
those
I'm
electric ones say F-cell across the door. Look at me, I'm helping out. I'm doing my part. My car says F-cell on the door.
Sounds to me like you should do an ecological Broadway show. It sounds
Here's my
right.
car. I plug it in.
Well, I don't do that. It's not those kinds. It's a fake hybrid.
It's a
Still
fake-
gets 9 miles to the gallon, but the engine
It's a
doesn't
Mias.
run when you start it.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's a Flintstone car
My feet are out, and I get ribs that I drink with my beer.
with your
Pork
nephew,
loin.
Adam, who is now 41 with a beautifully reconstructed face.
Oh, this is
But he's
bad.
missing ribs like Cher.
No, he is a handsome guy, and he might do. We might have to. I don't want to say anything negative. I mean,
Don't
he's a
say
woman.
anything else about him then. We're just moving on.
Look at you not editing.
Bob, I
You're
want to
very-
ask you, when you were doing Bosom Buddies audience warm-up, did
Yeah.
you know that Tom Hanks was a megastar and that Peter Scolari was going to be in Also Ran?
You know, I just watched him in Girls the other night on HBO, Peter Scolari, and he was really good.
Okay, but 30 years between gigs isn't
Hey.
really a ringing endorsement of a guy.
Hey, none of us-
Don't say that. He was in Girls. Remember Bosom Buddies in 1980? Well, it's 2012. I saw him in Girls.
I'm what you call a nice person. I know you
You
haven't
are a
met
nice person.
many, but I'm saying I don't. Show business is tough. There's people around here.
Explain
within
show
miles
business.
of here.
Explain show business to me.
People within miles of here are the biggest stars in the world, and then people that are trying and fighting to get a third callback on a pilot that doesn't even get picked up.
How many callbacks did you have to get on Greatest American Hero?
That is fascinating because I actually went in and auditioned, and I got it. And I was, I think it was.
What's the fascinating part?
I never get
What the
things from.
fuck?
I never get things from an audition.
Oh, okay.
I
All
just
right.
get 'em
You
from-
left that part. You're like, that was fascinating. I
I usually-
auditioned and then I got it. We're
And
like,
for
and
me,
we're
it
all
was
just sitting
amazing.
around going, okay, that's
I mean,
kind of how it works, right?
Do you like going in and getting?
I love auditioning.
You.
I do.
You serious?
It favors me. If you're
You
willing,
went in and you went in and Clint Eastwood. You went in and read
I auditioned.
material.
Absolutely. And he wasn't there. You meet him on set.
Right.
He looks at tapes. I think if you're willing to go in and audition,
Which I am.
and you approach it like you're shooting the scene that day, like you don't hold the sides, you don't do anything. Like if they put lights up and they shoot the scene during that audition, you're ready to go.
Right.
I think
So you are off book when you go in.
how
and
could you
meet-
not be? Are you trying to get a fucking part? Or are you the guy walking around like, man, I'm kind of into it, so I'm just gonna hold the shit in my hand because it's not worth it to me to memorize it.
I said,
You're looking at 5,000 people, so I didn't think
Well,
I
I
should.
want to get in the Captain Pike Wayback Machine right now.
You could have been him.
I
You could have been a
could've- I-
child Pike.
I could have been.
So you auditioned for Greatest
Chekhov.
American Hero.
Yeah, and it was Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of like Games of Thrones with
I know
no
it's- yeah.
budget and William Catt and Connie Sellecca.
16-sided die.
Yeah, and I had
That was the name of the episode, Dungeons and Dragons?
the Octocock. Yeah, it was 8 penises. You know, Octocock dated Octopussy, who was in that James Bond movie,
And they begat
fucked the
Octo-
hell out of each other because they had 16.
I didn't know
between
they
the
had
two
so
of them.
much hell in them.
8 and 8.
And then you had, and they begat Octomom, correct?
Octomom is one of my favorite people.
Why is that? Why?
Because she's always there for everyone. she's got access.
You auditioned for Greatest American Hero,
And I
did you
got it.
get it? Did you have callbacks?
I didn't. I think it didn't call me back. I think I just got the guest starring role.
And do you remember were you Bob the Comic on that also?
No, I was a young college student. I was like 24 years old or something, and I was obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons.
That was your role?
I'm sorry about all that rattling. I have my penis ring is jangling, and I have my keys attached to it. Oh my God!
I'll tell you this: my wife probably has
I
at
love
least,
your wife.
at least spiritually, my wife has a bigger cock than any guy that's ever been in this room.
That explains so much about you.
That's why I'm leaking shit out of my ass on the roof of my house
He's
because she's fucking wallered me out. My wife said to me day one, if I had a penis, would you let me? All right, I'll ask you. Look at my
So
wife.
you have like a pacifier
Hold on.
wiener? Is that
Look,
what you
look
have?
at my
like
wife.
a tiny little rubber thing?
Look, here's my bride. If she had
Looks
a
good.
dick and you were dating, would you let her fuck you?
What?
You heard me.
Well, I feel completely hazed right now. Your
Hazed?
lovely wife is in here,
No,
and
it's
you're
her
asking
question.
me.
She brought it up to me on her first date.
She's beautiful. I'm in a relationship.
All right.
I have a girlfriend, so I know I would not let a woman.
You have like
wait
a
minute,
penthouse
I do-
pet? She's like a
No,
penthouse.
will you stop
That's
that?
what Stamos told me.
That's not even. I will. I will.
What the
I'll
hell's
send my
going
best.
on? It's great.
It has nothing to do with that publication.
Well, no, we've covered we love Stamos. Saget thinks I put a spell on Stamos because he won't stop talking about me.
He talks about you and wanting you to have a wiener, and then wants to know if I would have sex with you if you had a wiener.
Here's the thing.
You know what? Tell him yes, Jay and I and you will just all.
Bob Saget,
All right.
John Stamos, Nikki Cox, Jay Mohr. We sit in a circle with our cocks
You know,
out.
I went through the name.
We'll compare, we'll touch, we'll experiment.
Well, you have Cox.
So mom shows up, we'll see what happens.
I don't
right.
know what to say.
Listen, I'm
Is it-
gonna.
Okay.
Wow.
First
That
rule
was
of
nice.
improv: if everyone has penises.
Yes, and
Yes, and please put your penis. Bye. Now,
Slam.
The reason you love her is because of her last name.
yes, I had to marry somebody whose last name was Cox.
That's what I was thinking.
It was either her or Saget. What is your girlfriend? You don't want to talk about personal
a
stuff.
model and a successful model, and she was nowhere near that publication you keep throwing up. But I don't know what to do because your wife just came in and said you asked me if I would have sex with your wife if she had.
All right,
a
your
penis
girlfriend. You go home and she goes, "I don't
She's-
know what happened, but look what happened. I have a penis."
Right.
But she's not a tranny. She's your hot, super hot, gorgeous girlfriend
She's
that you're
gorgeous
with.
and
She's ridiculously
cool as
hot.
hell.
Let's be honest. She's other level hot. She's your girlfriend is in another dimension of hot. You go home, and she
But
just.
your wife was very beautiful. She just came in here and it
You
seemed-
sound so surprised, you
well.
creep.
No, but it's.
Well, I read all the tabloids.
and
Apparently, she ruined her face.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know about
I
all
thought
this?
it was colder in here. She seemed perky when she came in. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, she likes to walk around with her top off.
Well, you know what? Good. God bless you kids.
You go home,
Right,
and your
and she
girlfriend
suddenly
has
has a
like a
penis.
5-inch regular, nice circumcised Jewish penis,
Right.
and she goes, "Bob, I don't know how this happened, but it happened like a spell."
you know
it's
what?
not some
You-
tranny.
I
It's
was-
her. It's the
I
same
was-
girl that you just
I was turned
left.
off to everything you said until you said she was circumcised. Now I'm in.
That's all right. All right. High five. High five.
Because if she had the whole uncircumcised thing, that would be
That's
like
disgusting.
calamari stuffed with potatoes.
My wife just stuck her head in and said Bob's a keeper because he agreed
Oh.
to do it. Listen, really quick.
Wait a minute. Is this podcast? Are we even recording? Or
No,
do
we
you
haven't
just
started
rope
yet.
guys that you've known that you always liked to come into your house and have sex with you and your wife. Is that what this is going on? And it's, you don't even have kids.
Who says
You don't even have
who
kids.
says
There's
I liked you?
cardboard cutouts upstairs of kids, aren't there?
Many.
This is just like, and you put your face behind them and take pictures.
Yes. Like Flat
Do you guys
Stanley.
own a Polaroid camera? Answer yes or no. Don't even
Yes.
think. Wow.
He was in 200 Cigarettes with me before he was the funny guy. Paul Rudd?
No, but I was just
Did you say
asking.
Paul Rudd?
No, I said Polaroid camera.
I thought you said, do you guys know Paul Rudd?
No.
Answer quickly.
No. But I like Paul Rudd very, very much. And 2 and 6
How-
cigarettes is how many you would smoke after you had sex with a woman with a penis.
How, after I smoked her penis,
Oh,
how,
my God.
strike, how, listen,
Gayest-
hey,
I'm back. I'm
look at
picturing
me.
you taking a dump off your roof. I'm looking at that little air vent, picturing it's the shadow of your poop, which is one of my favorite songs, by the way. Beautiful.
Shadow of your poop.
When you-
shit on the roof of your house.
You've got to see Book of Mormon.
I will.
Right now, I'll wait.
How did you get
You fly to New York. I'm going to sit here.
Bob, how
And
did
I'm
you
gonna go
get
talk to
Drowsy
your wife.
How did you get Drowsy Chaperone?
How
How does Bob Saget find himself in a Broadway musical?
I had done an off-Broadway show called Privilege, written by Paul Weitz, the great screenwriter. He wrote About a Boy and In Good Company and directed About a Boy and In Good Company. And he put me in this off-Broadway play, and I had a really cool experience. And Bob Boyette, who is a big Broadway producer who used to be exec producer of Full House with Tom Miller, came and saw me on closing night of that show Privilege and said, I want you to dance for me. And I said, I will die on stage. I can't dance. I have knee problems. And he wanted me to ask me if I wanted to be in Spamalot because I think Hank was going to leave, Hank Azaria. And then my friend Kevin McCullum thought I was right for Drowsy Chaperone. Too boring, long answer for your cast.
No, that's not boring. It's
But
like
Bob
how the
Boyette
hell
wanted me to do it, and Kevin McCullum wanted me to do it, and I met all of these great people that.
And do you have
it
to
was a bit
audition
close.
many times?
I didn't do anything. They just
Really?
offered
Because it's
me-
like
they offered me a Broadway play. Because
Yes, sir.
it's really nice because I'm surfacey and have no depth. But what I was going to say was, you saw Matt and Trey's Book of Mormon. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
That is.
They
go
say it's the
get
best
on
thing
a
in the world.
plane and go and take your wife because it is. You like Drowsy. I'm just saying, this Book of Mormon is one of the best things I've ever seen. They take everything that you hold sacred, which is nothing sacred. Let's not hurt anybody, but let's just pull the sheet off of everything.
Right.
And they don't even do any polygamy jokes. And it's a.
My wife, that's how we talk. That's New Jersey. Exactly. See, I
Right.
read for that. I read
It's
for
all Augie Doggy. I
Augie-
read for the lead in Augie Doggy, the
Very,
musical.
I read for the Sun.
Who's he?
Okay, Pop.
Yeah. Well,
That's my boy.
Sylvester was a. I love you, Dad. I love you too, son.
Now, that's my boy.
Mel Blanc, by the way. That's different.
One of the
than
greatest
Augie
actors
Doggy.
that ever lived.
Amazing voiceover genius. Amazing.
My wife
But,
takes me to see The Drowsy Chaperone.
Right.
One of the most interesting things you could ever watch.
It's a
Good for
beau-
you. He puts it on the record player,
On an LP.
and as it begins to play, the play happens on stage in his home.
People come out of the walls. The Murphy bed comes down. The actors are the stars from a 1928 fictional musical are there.
The Drowsy Chaperone.
It's beautiful, and it's sad. And he's an agoraphobic, and you're not sure about his sexual ambiguity.
Yeah.
And then he takes a giant dump on the stage.
Stop.
And Captain Pike comes out and slides into the orchestra pit.
The only way you can save that is with Captain Pike, and you knew it. You're fucking smarter than people think.
Question. Beautiful, perfect musical.
It's fascinating, and for like
you see
your
Bob Martin, the guy that wrote it?
yeah,
He's
for
a friend of
it
mine.
to be your
Brilliant.
gateway into all musicals, it kind of ruins the musical because musicals look pretty foolish after that. Because as my first musical, you go in, there's a guy in a cardigan, he's got a juice box, he's this sweet little nerdy guy. He talks to the audience. I know
And
you
I
know
got to
this.
play that part, which is
Right.
cool as
It's
shit.
the best, coolest
Best
part.
part ever.
And he tells the audience something to the effect of, there was this musical when I was a kid called The Drowsy Chaperone. I would like to play it for you. I think that was the original title, Pooper on the Roof, and it didn't
yeah.
test well.
Yeah, he said if I didn't have diarrhea was his big song.
If I didn't, how does it go?
Yabba dabba dabba dabba.
No, that's not the word.
Yeah,
You're being
yeah.
modest.
All day long, and that's that kind of stuff.
And then they
No, I
tested
just
it.
lost 4 of your listeners by doing that sound.
It's not true. They're not going anywhere.
Please talk about Drowsy Chaperone. First
Okay.
musical. How could you be so old and not have seen a musical?
Because
before?
I'm like a jock from New Jersey, like, hey, I ain't going to no theater. Da, 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 da.
Right.
And